Hello, it's Justin Heyer with Long Range Tactics. Today we're going to take a look at the Revic Hunter tripod. Here's the soft carrying case that comes with this tripod. In this front pouch, you're going to have an owner's manual, you've got some spiked feet, you'll have some miscellaneous Allen wrenches, and you'll also have an extra QR plate that I already have on another spotting scope. Then inside the main bag, you actually have the tripod itself. So let's take a look at that. A couple of quick specs on this tripod. In the collapsed position, their website lists this as 19 3/4 inches long, but that's actually only measuring to the bottom of the head. If you look at the hole dimension as it sits right here, you're about 22 3/4 inches. And then the diameter, as you look down at like this, you're roughly 4 to 5 inches depending on where you measure. One of the specs I was interested in that wasn't listed on the website is the leg diameters. The uppermost leg is 32.5 millimeters. Then we have 28 millimeters, 25, 22, and 19. As with most twist lock legs, these are user serviceable to clean them. So you can take it out, clean everything off if for some reason they quit locking up, and then they install back together super quick. Now, one nice thing, it does not take much effort at all, and those legs just are rock solid. They are probably the best twist locks of any hunting tripod that I have tried, as far as just minimal effort and rock solid lockup. It also has a ball head. You could take this off and add a pan head if you'd like, but I really like it. You can loosen this screw. Sorry, I got to loosen a little more. And it still allows the ability to pan. This locks out your ball head. And then you have this nice little minimum tension adjuster as well. So as you loosen this, this actually still has a set amount of tension based off this little screw. So if I loosen this a little more, you can see that, that flopped. So I like to set this, depending on what I'm doing, you can change it up a little bit and always keep the minimum tension you want. Let's look at the QR plates. There's nothing real special here, except when you get these, there will be 2 screws here and here. Those screws prevent you from sliding in the plate axially. They're actually designed so that you have hardly any wiggle at all, and it prevents your plate from falling out the back of the tripod if for some reason you forget to lock it. The problem is, that means to get it in, you actually have to twist and twist and twist. It takes quite a long time, and then you have to angle them in and drop them down in. So I have gone ahead and removed those 2. It's something that I'm willing to do to get it, to be able to mount up a little bit quicker. And now I just slide them in axially. Give it a little tighten. It's good to go. Now, obviously, about a quarter turn unlocks it. So if you want the extra, security measure, you can leave those 2 screws in. I found I didn't like dealing with having to unscrew this quite so far, so I went ahead and took them out on both of the QR plates. There is a second QR plate that comes with this. It's a little tiny bit shorter than this one, and it's currently mounted on my spotting scope. A tripod can be a great shooting support for hunters in the field. It's not something I'm used to shooting off of, so I took it out to the range just to see how I would do, and I'll show you some initial groups from standing, kneeling, and sitting positions, and I'll report back how I do with this in the final review as I practice a little bit more with it. So here's the groups. Before I begin testing this tripod from various positions, it was important to note that a 3/4 minute level of precision is about what this rifle does on average. It will definitely do better sometimes, but this 3/4 minute is a very good benchmark for an average group for this rifle. First off, I went right to a standing position, and as you can see here, 4 of the 5 shots were really actually quite nice, but I think it was the 4th shot on this group that opened it up to, over 2.5 MOA, which was almost 3.5 times the size of the group I would expect to see. And I think this is more indicative of me not being used to shooting a tripod from a standing position, because 4 of the 5 were actually quite nice. Next up, I moved to a kneeling position, and as you can see, the stringing completely changed. It went from horizontal to vertical. 3 of the 5 were quite nice, and 2 definitely got away from me. I will be very interested to see as I practice a little bit more if I can tighten this up, because I felt the system was a little more stable than what this group size is showing. Lastly, I dropped down into a sitting position, and as you can see here, groups went from 3/4 minute to about a minute. This is actually a jump I expected to see, as I don't feel obviously quite as stable in this sitting position as I do from prone or off a bench, and I was quite pleased with these results. Here's a size comparison of a Revic next to a ProMaster XC525C. This ProMaster is a very popular tripod with backcountry hunters for good reason. It's fairly lightweight and relatively inexpensive, and it's decently stable. So it's about just under 3 pounds, but you can see it's very similar in size. You know, the Revic is a little bit bigger around, but you actually get very similar overall lengths with the Revic and the ProMaster. So if you're willing to pay for the weight penalty, you don't really have to deal with much more bulk on the outside of your pack, and the Revic is noticeably much more stable. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions, hit us below in the comments. Also like and subscribe, and follow us on our different social media accounts at Long Range Tactics. Thanks for watching.